Good morning, Derby Nation. This is Val Fons Capone coming to you live. Oh, good morning. Good morning, dump truck. Coming to you live from the WFTDA South Central Region Playoff. I'm very, very excited to bring you this action this morning. My first experience being joined in the booth by Mellow Joe. Welcome, Mellow Joe.
Good morning. It's great to be here. There's nowhere else on earth I want to be right now because all eyes of the Derby Nation are on Kansas City today.
That is true. Sorry, Mr. Rock had some very important information about football. But no, we're talking Derby, right? I'm missing a Bears game for you, my loves. So the two teams that we have for you this morning, I'm very excited. We have Omaha is facing off against Tampa Bay. So it's going to be a hot matchup this morning. I heard Omaha getting ready. Did you see the little huddle action getting tight? Going kind of like how basketball players do before the game, doing the sway back and forth. Did you hear what they were saying, Joe? They were saying team, 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 because they are a very, very team-focused driven team.
And that's definitely what it's going to take down a team like Tampa Bay, because it's going to take that pack strategy. They're really going to have to stay in the game, keep their heads in it, because there's
there's a lot of experience on Tampa.
Right.
They had a very, very tight game yesterday. It was a big, frustrating loss. But Tampa had a lot of things about that game that definitely was a win. So they should walk away with their heads held high after that game. But, you know, both these teams were looking to go farther in this tournament. So this is for pride is basically what it comes down to.
Right. That's exactly right. Of course, anybody that's in the top 10 seeds of this region, this is the heartland of roller derby. And
True story.
To even make it to this tournament is a very big deal. So these two teams competing for 9th place in this playoff.
Well, you know what? At the same time, I got to say, any teams that are competing, bam. Anybody that's strapping on the skates and helmets and protective gear with some heart in their soul, no matter what's in their pants or what kind of track they skate on, I'm damn proud to know you. But you know what? I'm damn proud to be one of the voices of Derby Nation for the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. It looks like we're going to get things underway. So we're going to try to do a real quick intro so everybody can keep their scoring cards up to date at home. But we'll get that to you in just a moment. Starting off, though, we do have number 90 on the inside in black and pink. That's Little A rocking the jam star for Tampa Bay. And we have 999. That is Animaniac for Omaha.
Omaha there in the red. And it's Animaniac on the outside of the back straightaway. She's the lead jammer.
Yeah, I first saw Animaniac and the Omaha Roller Girls last South Central Regional Playoffs, hosted by the No Coast Derby Girls, and I was very, very impressed with her. And here she shows early morning, folks. Early morning, cuts through with these, picked up lead jammer, 4 points, calls it with the quickness, because a lot of times, Joe, that lead jammer is that lead jammer status is kind of your fifth blocker on the track, because you're basically stopping the opposition from being able to score points. So it's like your fifth defensive blocker.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. It's all about trying to control that jam and pick up those points and call it off. If they can continue that, but of course it's very early here.
It is very early. Did I mention that it's early? Because I'm pretty sure it's early. I don't even drink anymore, and it's still early. All right, so I'm pretty sure the whistle blew, but again, with the early, I'm not sure. I might still be dreaming. I could see.
No, you did hear a whistle.
Oh, I thought it was at you, because you are a fine, handsome gentleman. So we have number 53, I'm a fire starter. And she's taken off against number 99, Barbie Bont, who I don't believe we saw jam very much, if at all, yesterday.
Well, actually, she picked up so many penalties earlier in the tournament. She was fouled out in one of the games.
Oh, she got 7 trips to the box, eh?
Yes.
Rough. That is rough. I luckily have not been there since that new rule has been in inception, so I'm glad to say that. But we do have Barbie starts getting through the pack. She got 2 points picked up. Nice work by Barbie. So take a look at that scoreboard, Joe. We got 28 minutes left in the first period of gameplay between these two teams. Tampa Bay on the board with 2. Omaha on the scoreboard with a slight advantage of 4. Speaking of Tampa, here's their roster for the All-Stars. Number 1, Twisted Tink. Number 138, Lily the Kid. Number 18, Reese's Tear Ya to Pieces. Number 212 is Lunch Lady. 31, Run 'Em Down Rhoda. 50 Foot, Rojo Grande. 512, Sasha Hot Bitch. On the jam line right now, number 613, Flirtin' with Disaster. Number 7, Taz Maniac. Number 78, Betty Kruger. Number 80D, Leia Flat. Number 90, Team USA, Little A. Number 901, Muse of Bruise. And 99 is Barbie Bont.
Got McKillia jamming for Omaha. She's made her way almost through the pack, but she's got a 2-wall at the front.
And we already have people going to the box. Oh, and one of those people is McKillia. She got a major track cut, so says the jammer ref. Machete Holiday, the jam ref for Flirting with Disaster and the Tampa Bay Derby Darlings, is saying, Flirting, you got lead jammer. The finger of power is pointed in your direction.
It's the only sport where getting the finger is a good thing.
And look at all those high fives in the sky. That's 5 points for Flirting with Disaster. Her first Grand Slam this fine Sunday morning. Oh, I love the ambient sounds from behind us. I love that the fans are right up on our backs. Playing armchair derby back. Flirting with Disaster up the inside. Let's see how many more points. What's that, Joe?
That's another Grand Slam right there. Another nickel in the bank.
Oh, I thought Machete Holiday was just saying, hi, folks, hey. In the bank, but in the box, we have the jammer, McKillia, standing at attention. That does mean, Joe, that she has 10 seconds or less left. Also, you'll note that the pivot for Tampa Bay, number 212, that is Lunch Lady herself, is about to be released from the box, as is my MVP of yesterday's bout for the Tampa Bay Derby Darlings, Betty Kruger, number 78. 5 more points for Flirtin'. It's 5 more points. It's going to be 15 points so far on this jam, Joe.
She's on a roll. They've got to figure out a way to stop her.
She's actually on 8 rolls.
Yeah.
Rolling wheels, yes.
I'm sure they're Atom wheels.
Ah, the official wheel of the WFTDA. Oh, my goodness. I love me some Atom wheels. If you want to check out the awesomeness on their website, head to atomwheels.com. They also have a whole new section of Atom gear, but it is for the elite athlete. It's definitely for somebody whose focus is on speed and less impact. But I checked them out yesterday, and they look really awesome. They have some of the knee pads that I kind of want to wear underneath my other pads because they look that sturdy, like they're going to be that good for stability. I'm pretty excited to try them out. So check out atomwheels.com. In the meanwhile, I'm pretty sure that the jam has started. But, oh, yes, it looks like it has. Little A on the inside in black and pink is facing off against number 999. She's Animaniac.
Down south, we would describe this as slower than molasses.
Oh.
In January.
Oh, in January. That's really slow.
Yeah.
And it's not even January yet. That's how slow it is. So we've crawled back in time, but now the jammers are released, and they are here with the fire. Animaniac, lead jammer on the track. But look at her, hot on her heels, 90 miles per hour. It's Little A herself. Now, I've mentioned this quite a few times, but I'm so proud of her. Little A is not as well known in Derby Nation as the rest of Team USA, but I'll tell you what, she is certainly one to watch. Look at her forcing that jam to be called, Joe.
Yeah, great strategy. She's really got her head in the game here.
And looks like we have a team timeout charged to the bench of Omaha, Joe.
Maybe this would be a good chance to introduce our Omaha skaters.
I think that would be a good chance, my friend.
For those of you following at home, Sharon Misery, number 101. Number 107, Jenny DeBeaton. Number 2, McKillia.
Wait, Jenny DeBeaton?
Yeah.
Sure do.
215, Bella Coase. Number 42, Axel Rogue. Number 53, I'm a Fire Starter. Number 665, Daisy Mayhem. Number 6 foot, Danae Inyakoffin.
Say that fast twice, I dare you.
8-inch, Bobby Backseat. 964, Eblastigirl. Number 999, Animaniac, having a great day so far.
So far, so good.
F8, Anti-Embolism.
I'm going to say that's Fate.
Oh, Fate.
Save some time. Fate. We're in a hurry.
And I guess this one would be Gillette. Martian Manhater. And MK80, Molly Massacre.
I'm having fun this morning, folks. We want to say welcome to the congregation of the Church of Skating. If this don't bring you to school, like homeschooling you to church style, I don't know what does.
Amen.
Amen, my sisters and brothers. They're taking a knee at the altar of Derby gods. Number 53 jamming out there. She's also the captain. She is phenomenal. She is I'm a Fire Starter. I can't help but say her name like that. It's ridiculous, I know. Number 99, that is Barbie Bont with her speed helmet on. Look at those, speedy up the inside. Nobody even saw her. That's when a juke comes out to help you well. Lead jammer status. We got Barbie Bont.
That helmet must give her the extra aerodynamics she needs to get through so fast.
Clearly. She was so fast, nobody even saw her.
Certainly not hurting anything.
And Firestarter's having a little bit of hurt put on her by that big wall of black up at the top of the pack. As the inside pack ref calls for no pack, she gets released from the pack. And now Barbie Bont is at the back of the pack. Can I say pack one more time? Because that's where Barbie Bont is. She's cutting up the inside, gets outside of the pack, decides to call it conservatively with 4 points. Danail in Yakofin is taking the track. I just had to say her name at least once. She's also joined on the track by the rest of her pack, Blastigirl, Axel Rogue. And we got number 665 up top. That's Daisy Mayhem herself with the shoulder of pain is what I named it last year, because, man, that woman puts a shoulder on a sternum like nobody that I've seen in years since Sheriff Shut Your Pio of the Tent City Terrors back in the day at the first Dust Devil tournament, when that, like, shocked the derby world that somebody would put a sternum into your, a shoulder into your sternum. Watch out for Daisy Mayhem on the track. Look at her with the intimidation backward skate. Love it.
Man.
But Tampa Bay is not intimidated easily. It's like they had some choreography right there. All went back in unison. Now that's good teamwork. You didn't even see their mouths move. They had that mental communication that you need to have teamwork like that. Animaniac number 999 trying to fight through on the outside. Got one blocker left to go. Gets past Twisted Tink. Takes tumble. Gets lead jammer staying on one skate, Joe.
That's incredible. I love the agility of some of these skaters, especially Animaniac. She demonstrates it so well. Able to stay up on one skate. I do well on two.
I do pretty well on two as well, but I would definitely do well on two Antic Boots, which is what it looks like she's rocking. Antic Boots, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings. Why don't you check out greenmonster.com. Take out all the vowels and you'll know how to spell it. They are revolutionizing roller derby.
Yeah, if you like great skate gear and dislike consonants.
Yeah, if you hate vowels, but you love good gear. And as you'll see, all the skaters on the track are taking a knee in unison. Twisted Tink looks like she took a bit of a tumble, but she's back up. People are clapping. It's at this point that I like to pay a little homage to the league that started this great, and touching tradition. The Detroit Derby Girls, actually. They decided to do this as a show of unity, that we are all one, regardless of what color jersey we're wearing. We're all part of Derby Nation. We're all one giant team. So thank you to the Detroit Derby Girls for starting that great tradition of taking a knee when a skater goes down. And Little A down through the track just like that, picking up lead jammer status. She's facing off against I'm a Firestarter, who you can instantly recognize from her red mane flowing from her red helmet cover.
Looks like flames just shooting out, like she's got a rocket on her back.
Would you say that like she's starting a fire?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
Very interesting. Down goes Little A. She starts to take a knee, tries to call the jam. Jam gets a bit of a delayed call because referees were calling penalties. That's 101 Sharon Misery going to the penalty box for a forearm. We want to also say thank you so much to Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions. Thank you so much to Elemental Technologies.
Barbie Bont, number 99 for Tampa, getting ready to start this jam off.
And she's going against 999. It's the battle of the nines. Maybe they'll score 9 points each. Animaniac. We got lead jammer already. Barbie Bont. Man, that speed helmet is working out to her advantage, because I gotta wonder what her background is, because she does take the low strides of a speed skater, and she comes equipped with that sweet helmet. Gets through with a speedy quickness, calls the jam. Let's see how many points she picked up. That's 4 more points. 8 on the scoreboard for Omaha, 27 for Tampa Bay. 19 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first period, Joe.
Tampa Bay so far very effective at controlling the jam, just chalking up those 4 points and calling it off. That's a fundamental roller derby strategy, the old nickel and dime there.
I love a good nickel and dime. You know where you could save a good nickel and dime?
Where?
Buying from Fast Girl Skates. They are the industry pioneer in boot sizing and configuration for women's feet, but they also will offer you a fairly good deal. Check them out. They're one of my favorite teams in Derby Nation. FastGirlSkates.com.
Speaking of fast girls.
Hey-o. Look at that tie-in.
Look at this, Val.
Flirting with disaster?
Yes, she's
Flirting
the
with lead jammer. Jinx. I'm a fire starter trying to get through Betty Kruger. Good luck on that one, but she sure does. Stays on one skate after getting clipped, takes a bit of a tumble as Flirting with Disaster passes the entire pack, picking up 5 big points.
And Tampa Bay looking like a well-oiled machine today.
And not just because they're wearing black.
That's right.
Doesn't hurt, though, eh?
Certainly fits the theme.
I do like a good theme, Joe. Out of the pack now is I'm a fire starter. Flirting with Disaster pushing Twisted Tink, who is up and at him, no problems. Let's see how many points she gets in the sky. Out of the zone of engagement, Machete Holiday holds him up, picks up 4. Flirting's going to call it and say, you know what? Let's get this started over. I'm a team player. I like to share the track with my teammates. Let's get some more of them out there. So we got 8 minutes, we have 8 on the board for Omaha, 36 for Tampa Bay, 18 minutes rather, and 15 seconds left on the first period game clock.
Looks like Firestarter's going to take an intentional 4th minor here.
Yep. And what that is doing, folks, it may be your first time tuning in or you just need a refresher course. You're saying, why are there 3 people lined up behind the jam line? Well, as my good friend Mellow Joe said, she is intentionally taking her 4th minor. You'll see that Hambone just signaled illegal procedure. She takes a seat in the penalty box. What that's doing is clearing out her penalty cachet so that most likely, and I'm assuming especially with I'm a fire starter being the one to take it, she's going to be available to jam in the very near future.
That's right, because they can't afford to lose their jammer to a power jam.
In a power jam situation, yes,
right.
To that 4th minor. But also a lot of people say, well, why don't you just skate and get your 4th minor on the track? Well, I'll tell you a couple reasons, folks. First off, I'm going to tell you we got a lead jammer as little A. Second, I'm going to say it's really dangerous to do for a couple reasons. It's dangerous to your safety, to your teammates' safety, to the opposition safety, but it's also dangerous in the sense that you run the risk of getting a major.
Right.
So really, you're not helping your team out by attempting to get that minor. Just take it intelligently, do it safely, pick up 4 points like little A did, and then pick up your 4th minor and go to the box.
Right. It's always better when you can plan around it instead of having it unexpectedly sent to the box. That's always a good thing when you're in control of the situation.
Yeah, and she did pick up those 4 points, called the jam. Look at that scoreboard, 16 minutes and 46 seconds left. 8 on the board for Omaha in red and black, and 40 for Tampa Bay in black and pink. Lining up right now. Oh, it's a battle of the 9s once again.
Lots of 9s here.
Yeah, we have Barbie Bont on the outside of the jam line, number 99, with the speed helmet and black and pink to power her through. And number 999, that's Animaniac. Look at her jumping and Jones and ready to go, trying to fight through that wall of black.
Look at that, Barbie Bont quickly on the inside of the front straightaway before she even crossed the pivot line, had already crossed the pack.
You know what? I blinked, and I literally blinked, and I didn't see that happen.
That was incredible.
Nice work, Barbie Bont, who's already at the back of the pack, but there she is facing off against Sharon Misery towards the back. Sharon Misery, 6'6", big tower of power. She's getting some assistance from 6 foot. That's Denalia into Coffin. Oh, Animaniac. Did she get yes, she did get that cut. Let's see if she got a major. Yep, going to the box for that major track cut. She did try to slow it down, but couldn't do it in time. Barbie Bont also was in the box. Now she's going to be out. Quad Jamit saying, pay attention to your penalty box keepers, Joe.
Wow, that could be pretty confusing for a new fan.
Well, yeah, so do you want me to explain a little bit what happened there?
Sure, yeah.
So basically, to keep the action going at all times, we got an illegal procedure minor charged to Barbie Bont. What happens there is nobody wants to see just a bunch of broads skating around the track hitting each other, right? Well, I mean, I might. But you don't score any points that way unless you have a jam star on the track. So what happens when one jammer enters the box and the other jammer gets sent to the box, Joe, is I get sent to the box. I'm in there for 30 seconds. Normally I would serve a minute, right? But I'm in there for 30 seconds. As soon as you sit down and your butt hits that seat, because that's when your penalty box time starts, I get released. You will also serve the same exact amount of time that I did. So you will serve 30 seconds, essentially.
That's right. It was a crafty change in the rules a few years ago to prevent a jammerless jam, because that kind of defeats the purpose of our sport here. So.
Well, while I did enjoy the hand signals for it, which meant both jam refs would join in the middle and hold their hands up in the air in a declaration of jammerless jam, I thought it was a declaration of ref love. But we moved past that. We want to keep the scoring on the track with the wheels, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's going to be the end of the jam. She picked up 3 more points on that last pass. What's that scoreboard say, good buddy?
We've got Omaha sitting at 12 with Tampa Bay at 62, 14 minutes left in the first period.
And we want to say thank you so much to the folks at Roller Girl Skates, rollergirlskates.com. I also want to say so much love to Merch Mama, formerly known as Interplanet Janet from the Rat City Roller Girls. She made these keychains at RollerCon. I don't know if you were there. I was there, and it was amazing. By the way, RollerCon 2012, do it. And they were shaped in roller skates, and they were RollerCon purple because that was our color this year. But they were bottle openers, and they were amazing.
Wow.
I want
that
you
would
to
be
go
very
buy
handy
one.
for the after parties, wouldn't it?
Oh, no, yeah. It's going to save me so much money on dental work because normally I just use my teeth. Yeah. My teeth, which I often protect with a beautiful custom mouth guard. Thank you, Protect Dent mouth guards. And we got a lead jammer for you, folks. It's Makilia. I believe that's her first lead jam status of the day. She's facing off against Flirting with Disaster, who flirted with the sin bin. So this is going to be a nice opportunity for Omaha to seize this power jam. Excellent red wall built up in the back. Makilia's got one blocker left at the top of the pack. That's number one. She's going to have to let her go. Twisted Tink goes and is going to get that out of play major. Look at her skating backwards. Where is she going? Interesting. I don't know that the pack ref saw her. She was sent to the box, and now she's skated back to the pack. Wow. I wonder how this situation is going to be handled because that's another out of play major. She didn't go to the box the first time. We'll see if the officials caught that. Sneaky gameplay.
Yeah, interesting. Meanwhile, Makilia having a hard time getting past these Tampa Bay blockers. She's calling off the jam.
Well, she's trying to, but it's, I'm a little confused because I thought she was declared lead jammer, so I do apologize if I misinformed you folks at home. Because an illegal procedure was assessed to her when she tried to call off the jam. Now, the difference with that, Joe, nice hit by I'm a Fire Starter, living up to that name for sure. She's a trouble starter in that pack, trying to take out ADD. Flirting with Disaster is out of the box, cuts up the inside. Looks like a counterclockwise block being assessed on Sasha Hotbitch. She's going to the penalty box. Was that a 29-point jam? Is that possible? Did I read that wrong? No, excuse me, that was incorrect. I just saw a lot of fingers flashing up. I got a little confused. It's pretty early in the morning. But check out that scoreboard. We got a palindrome for you folks. Omaha with 26, Tampa Bay with 62, 11 minutes and 26 seconds.
Omaha has got to try a different strategy here, I think.
Well, yeah, and what they're doing right now is they're taking that wall-up knee. That's the newest trend in flat track roller derby. Every season there's a new strategy that one team throws out there. People get a little upset at first, but then they come to embrace it and know it and love it. And I think it's actually a pretty fun strategy. It's good to mix it up a little bit, in my opinion. So what they're doing, is that they're all taking a knee. Nobody's injured. Don't worry, folks. What they're trying to do is speed up the start of the jam, Joe.
Right. They want to get that jammer off the line as quickly as possible.
Well, and do you know why they do that? Why everybody's taking a knee? What does that do?
Well, let's see.
I'm going to test you.
Well, I know if you've got opposing blockers in the box, that gives you more time in an actual jam so that you can take full advantage of having command of the rink.
I'm so proud of you. That's
Woo-hoo,
actually
high five.
High fives.
Yeah.
Get some. That is one very good reason to use it because you then have instant advantage on the track because you outnumber them clearly. But the reason why they're taking a knee is to form a no-pack situation. So what that does is their entire team that's on the track drops to a knee. So then you only have one team that's technically in play because if you're on the ground, you're out of play, right?
Right.
So that forces a no-pack situation. So what's going to happen there is instead of waiting for that pack to pass the pivot line, which is a traditional start, although lately you wouldn't think so.
Right.
The traditional start in flat track roller derby is you hear one whistle blast. That's the start of the pack. Once the pack gets past the pivot line, you'll hear the double whistle blast, tweet, tweet. See, there's a tweet and tweet, tweet. What they do is they speed it up because they can't, when there's a no-pack situation, they have to blow that jam whistle. So there you go. It's a long-winded explanation as to why we do that.
Animaniac makes it through the pack first. She's the lead jammer.
Yeah, hot on her trails, little A.
She's going to call it. It's a wash. They were just skate to skate there.
And, good call by Animaniac because Little A, her number is 90. She does skate about 90 miles per hour. Nice work on Tampa Bay. Although they were outnumbered on the track, in strategy they were not. They were skating fast as possible at the top of the pack, pushing the speed of the pack, knowing that Little A has extra bursts of speed in those skates of hers and could catch up to Animaniac. So that leaves all of Omaha at the back.
Right.
Meaning Little A could, in theory, pass them up, hit that black wall. Why even risk that scoring? So good work on Animaniac.
I'm a fire starter on the line for Omaha.
And Barbie Bont out there for Tampa. Barbie coming up the outside. I'm a hot on her trail. What's going to happen? Sharon Misery, last blocker to go. Daisy Mayhem, last blocker to go. Out of the pack now, Barbie Bont.
Barbie Bont's your lead jammer, but I'm a fire starter. Almost a reverse of the last jam here with Omaha hot on the heels of Tampa Bay.
Nice work, Daisy Mayhem, using those hips to cause some mayhem, forcing Barbie Bont into the infield and forcing her to call that jam. Look at those fingers and listen to the applause. Those 2 points in the air are all the fans behind us need to get riled up, keep this company going.
That could be the shot in the arm.
Just a little one, little by little. Because you know what, my friend, last I checked, as much as I hate math, I know one thing about some numbers. It takes one to win.
That's right.
So
That's
a
all you need.
2-point victory is still a victory.
That's right. I'm sure no one would turn that down at this tournament.
Oh, heck no. 28 on the board for Omaha, 63 for Tampa Bay. We got Flirt with Disaster out there, but we got a lead jammer very far ahead of the pack. Who is that?
That is Animaniac.
Animaniac.
She's the maniac of the track.
Yes, she is. She's a maniac, I know. Look at her getting through the pack. And she gets out. Look at that. High five, buddy. Let's high for that. Grand slam.
Grand slam.
Oh, look at her going on Jammer D. She decides to slow it down. Flirt with Disaster just got out of the pack, eligible to score, but Animaniac said, I got that grand slam. I'm good to go. Let's keep this momentum going, brothers and sisters.
That's right. We may have seen a clear momentum shift here with Omaha.
And see, all it took, Joe, was those 2 points.
That's right.
People always try to look for these grandiose jams of 3, 4, or 5 grand slams, and those are great. And hell, as a blocker that jams because it makes her team laugh, I would. That just made you laugh. I did my job. I would be thrilled to have a 20-point. But you know what? If I get 1 point, I'm fist pumping like a giggly little girl.
That's right.
So it's eking their way up that scoreboard. We now only have a 30-point game. Nice work by Omaha for keeping their cool. I'm a fire starter is going to turn up the heat a little bit as soon as this jam gets underway. Look at, they're actually going to pass the pivot line. Maybe.
Pack strategy and pack speed is a major part of strategy here in our beloved roller derby sport. And as a skater, we've got a lead jammer in the meantime.
That's Little A.
Little A, number 90.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The pack speed.
Yes.
What's the benefit in controlling the speed and slowing them down?
Well, here's the thing: is pack control is key. Whether it's speed, numbers, you really want to focus on pack control. Because what happened there is, I'm a little confused by the start on Omaha. They slowed to a crawl. The reason why they were doing that, generally, it's because they're trying to eat up some clock time.
Right.
But they did have 2 skaters in the box. Neither of them were standing, so it wouldn't behoove you to slow that time, because Tampa had 2 skaters standing. What I personally would have thought to do, since your numbers were even there, speed it up just a little bit, get it going, start the jam. Instead, what they did was they killed enough time that the 2 black blockers got released from the box and slowed it up. Like you said, they started controlling the pack speed. They made it really easy for Little A to get through and get lead jammer, just like Barbie Bont did, and also to pick up those couple of points, those 4 points that Little A racked up in the last jam. Right now, Animaniac's got 2 blockers left at the top of the pack. She's out of the pack, but Barbie Bont is in the thick of the mix, taken down by Sharon Misery. Betty Kruger doing a little bit of tumbling for you. Wipes the dirt right off of her shoulders. God, I love you, Betty Kruger.
Just brush that right off.
Got to get that dirt off your skate court. Which, by the way, skate court, I love you. I feel like it's completely revolutionized our sport.
It's great. We can skate anywhere.
Exactly. Like, it levels the playing field. Because a lot of times, you have that home field, home court advantage because of the terrain that you're skating on. But what this does is it It keeps you even keel across the
Takes
board.
that guesswork out.
It does.
So for a skate court like this one, what type of wheels would you use? What durometer are we looking at?
You know what? I'm not good with numbers, as I said, but I am going to tell you number 53 is jamming for Omaha. I'm a fire starter cups at the inside gets lead jammer. I would suggest I like my low boys personally. I also love G-Rods. Those are both Atom wheels, the official wheels of the WFTDA. I know a lot of people on my team in Chicago for the Windy City Rollers love Jukes and the Jukes 2.0. They're the narrow wheel. Check them out, atomwheels.com. They'll answer any questions you have. And 0-0 jam on that last pass. I'm a blocker, and I weigh about 200 pounds, so I'm a heavy hitter in the pack.
Right, and weight does play a significant factor in your wheel selection.
It certainly does. But I can tell you this much. I used G-Rods for about 2.5 years religiously, and as soon as mine started to wear out, which it took like a long time for them to wear out, and I skate quite a bit, I went and bought another set of G-Rods. And then I talked to Atomatrix, and she suggested the low boys. Changed my game so much. I have more agility. I get more roll out of it with the metal hub. The alloy hub. Up the inside, we got Little A. Lead jammer for Tampa. Rocking those antic skate boots.
Tampa just having a wonderful start to their day with just controlling these jams. A significant higher number of jams have gone to Tampa Bay this morning.
Yeah, it's a little early for me to officially keep unofficial stats, so I apologize. But I'm looking at my stats that I am tracking, and a lot of little stars signifying lead jammer on the column for Tampa.
Yeah, it's clearly reflected in the score regardless. Tampa Bay controlling these jams and controlling the scoreboard.
Yes, and of course, like we said, it's a nice strategy to have. I always say it's my get-out-of-jail-free card, because no matter what kind of sticky situation you get, if you have lead jammer, you can cease that jam.
That's right.
But one thing you do got to remember, Joe, is that jam does not end until that fourth whistle blast. You hear the tweet, 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 tweet. So you got to make sure you watch your timing on that. Timing is impeccable in roller derby.
That's right, and they actually Tampa Bay actually gave up 1 point to Omaha a few jams ago.
2 points, remember? And that's what started shifting the momentum slightly in the direction of Omaha. But there they just picked up 4 more points. Rising that scoreboard, we got 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first period. Omaha with 33, Tampa Bay with 75. 2 timeouts remaining for Omaha, 3 timeouts for Tampa Bay. At this time, I want to say thank you so much to Dr. Hauschka. Oh, I love Dr. Hauschka Ouchaid. Have you ever had to use those, the Ouchaid Arnica compress?
I haven't yet, but
have the after parties been a little too much party for you ever?
The random bruises the next day? I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you don't crush tall boys with your thighs like I do for fun? I'll tell you what, last year at North Central up in Green Bay, I had so many bruises on my legs, and they said, try them out, Val. And I put them on my legs while I was announcing. By the end of the bout that I was announcing, lead jammer right here, Animaniac number 999, the Dr. Hauschka Ouchaid Arnica compresses helped to heal those bruises just in that hour of time.
Wow, it's that quick?
Yeah, they took down the puffiness, they took down the pain factor. It was great. I was crushing cans at the next after party. Thank you, Dr. Hauschka. Rhymes with Ouchka. Look at the speed right now on the track, Joe. Again, controlling the pack speed. Tampa Bay realized that lead jammer status had gone to Animaniac, and so you want to get that pace as fast as you can, get your whole pack in unison. What happens a lot of times, though, Joe, is that skaters will go, I got to get to the front. They have lead jammer, but they don't do it as a team.
Right.
So what happens sometimes is that you'll see that isolation of one black skater will be behind a wall of red, then boom, instant control of the pack gets switched over to Omaha. So you got to be careful. Don't just try to get to the front. Doesn't matter where you get to as long as you get together.
Right.
That's the first part of get together.
Right.
So we have another jam underway. Flirting with Disaster. You can tell by the stance. Crouched down low like she's riding a horse. Flirting with Disaster does have lead jammer for Tampa.
You know, and I think one thing that we're seeing from the pack speed here in Tampa Bay, that's one of the most effective ways to shut down the skill of the jammers of Omaha is just to keep that pack fast.
Yeah, tire them out, wear them out. I'll tell you what, that's why I don't jam. Because look at how fast these Tampa Bay girls are going. And Ima is a very speedy skater, but, you know, the entire pack, again, is moving in unison. But down goes Denalia Inya Coffin, excuse me. and took down, that's number 18, Reese's Terry to pieces. I'm a fire starter out in front of Flirton with Disaster, who picked up 4 points on that last pass. Flirton is going to call it because she knows Ima's a very speedy skater. Again, that's all about the timing.
Right.
Wants to make sure that Ima's not even anywhere near that back of that pack. We have time for just about one more jam. 42 seconds on the period clock. 33 on the board for Omaha, 89 for Tampa Bay. Little A, number 90, facing off against 999, Animaniac.
I would suspect we'll see a Tampa try and control this speed again, trying to get a fast pack. And as I say that, the speed of the pack is very, very slow.
Yeah, it's very slow pack pace because, as we said, the jam whistle will not be blown until that last skater passes the pivot line. The way to start that up, though, I got to be honest, the way to counteract that is skate fast enough that there is no pack. The whistle will get blown. It's the same as taking a knee. And you can see the pivot right now for Omaha is trying to speed that up, going back, then reforming the pack all together. Jammers got released. Down goes Animaniac up on the inside. Through the middle is Little A with lead jammer status. Tampa Bay forming a wall at the back of the pack. Red wall trying to break up the black wall, but here's the black jammer trying to cut up the inside. Now to the outside. Down goes Little A. Takes the skater down with her. Up the inside, though, is the jammer for Omaha, Animaniac. Little A is on her scoring pass. Let's see if she noticed how close Animaniac is to the back of the pack. Yes, she does, and she calls the jam, Joe.
That's going to do it for this jam. She picked up 4 points on that pass. That's going to bring our score to 93 Tampa, 33 Omaha, and we're in halftime.
We're going to the halftime right now, folks. That's a 60-point game. That's nothing in roller derby standards today. Hey, folks, welcome back to the action on the track. I'm Val Capone, and I'm joined here in the booth by Mellow Joe.
Good morning.
Yes, it is a good morning because we are watching the Women's Flat Track Derby Association 2011 South Central Region Playoffs, hosted by Kansas City Roller Warriors. That's right, we're at the Show Me Derbicue. Joe, how's it been going so far?
It's been going pretty well for Tampa Bay. If you're just joining us, Tampa Bay in the black jerseys, they're sitting at 93 going into the second period. Omaha in red, they are at 33 as we begin the second half in just a moment.
We do have an equipment check going on. All the officials are thoroughly checking the gear of each team. Right now they're focusing on Tampa Bay, as you can see on the monitor, on your monitors at home.
This is the first time these two teams have ever faced each other, so it kind of makes for an interesting set of strategy. They really have to study the team in the days leading up to today.
Yes, definitely.
To kind of figure out what kind of strategy they're going to use.
Yeah, and that's so right, because never mind your athleticism and gameplay has to be there, but strategy is key to that. Your skate's got to take you fast, but your brain's got to take you far.
Yeah, some teams they're aggressive. Some teams are more strategy driven. Some are a mixture of the two, and you really have to know your opponent to win the game.
Now let's check out these fine opponents in black. On the inside, we have Little A lining up, number 90 for Tampa Bay. And who do we got for Omaha?
We've got Animaniac.
Well, Animaniac is actually lining up behind the jam line to take her intentional fourth minor.
That's right. So we've got
number 53. That's I'm a Firestarter, the captain of the Omaha Roller Girls.
Trying to get that minor out of the way, the fourth minor for Animaniac.
Lunch lady going to the penalty box at Pivot of Tampa. Fighting up the inside is Little A. She shuffles up the in and gets lead jammer status, the first lead jammer of the period.
Meanwhile, I'm a Firestarter up against the 2-wall, now a 3-wall in the front 2 turns.
She's got one of her teammates trying to plow through the front. That's Sharon Misery. And right now that is MK80. That's Molly Massacre. Helped out I'm a Firestarter to get out of that thick black wall. Little A just jumps right over a fallen skater. Picks up 4 points. Stalking I'm a Firestarter, and calls the jam after picking up 4 more points for Tampa.
Yeah, you notice she didn't immediately call it off. She was maybe hoping for a fall or a bobble or something there.
Or maybe a trip to the penalty box.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it's really wise. You got to be aware of where the stars are all the time on the track. Now, we're all stars on the track, but I mean the stars on the helmet.
That's right. That's where the points are. Barbie Bont, speaking of stars, doing very well in this bout. Barbie Bont, number 99 for Tampa. Makilia, number 2 for Omaha. But it's Barbie Bont again through the pack before the pivot line.
Yep.
Incredible.
She is very speedy. Look at her stance, getting crouched down low. She's already at the back of the pack. She's about 10 feet behind the pack right now.
Just incredible speed from this skater. And now again on the outside of the front straightaway, knocked down.
Yeah, knocked down by Daisy Mayhem, who actually went outside as well. Barbie tried to stop and catch back up because you could cut in front of that skater. If they go out of bounds, if they knocked you out, you could just go right back onto the track. You will not get a minor. But unfortunately, she took a tumble. Now she's forced back into the infield by Daisy Mayhem. Lunch Lady creating some mayhem on Daisy. She realizes that Daisy is a powerhouse, trying to put the hurt on her. We have Makilia at the front of the pack, getting out finally. Barbie Bont goes sideways, tries to call the jam. Jam gets called. 4 points picked up on that last pass, Joe.
And Tampa Bay breaks the century mark, 101. Omaha still at 33.
Now jamming for the first time this fine morning. We have 50 foot. That's Rojo Grande. And she's facing off against I'm a Firestarter, number 53.
So far, we've seen a relatively low number of jammers in rotation for both teams. Now with Rojo Grande, hopefully going to give some rest to some of the Tampa jammers.
Well, it's definitely a good strategy, especially like you said, for the teams that have not played each other. You know, they might not be familiar with Rojo Grande's style, and there she is taking advantage of that and taking lead jammer up the inside. That's 3 for 3, according to my officially unofficial stat tracking that I'm doing up here in the booth.
It's better you count it than me. I'm terrible at mathematics.
Oh, God, what did you just say? You do not want me doing math. But on the back of the track, right there, up the inside, nobody even saw her. Straight through the middle for 4 points. That's Rojo Grande. It's going to be 33 on the board, 105 for Tampa.
We'd like to take a moment to thank Herbalife, customized nutrition programs and coaching. Put more life in your game with Herbalife.
We have 999 lining up on the outside in red and camo booty shorts. That's Animaniac calling for her team to take a knee. Let's speed it up, she says. Let's take advantage of much of the clock time as possible because, you know, right now the clock certainly is their enemy. She's facing off against Little A. Animaniac taking Little A to the outside.
Animaniac now to the outside of the back straightaway, but it's a 4-wall. Just a big wall of the Great Wall of Tampa here.
She's fighting through. She does. Can she get past ADD, lay it flat? Yes, she does.
She does, but not cleanly.
Oh, guess what this is?
Forearm, it looks like.
Yeah, minor
Little
forearm.
A now, the lead jammer.
And look at Little A stalking her, waiting and watching, saying, you know what? I'm going to eat up some of this clock time because the clock is your enemy. And the thing is, Little A is a very intelligent skater. She realizes, look at how quickly they're trying to start these jams. It's because they are down by 72 points. Whoa, I just did that. With only 25 left to go.
Yeah, when you have a lead, the clock is on your side just to eat that time away.
Well, I would say not a lead, a sizable lead is what you're looking for. Because, you know, if you only are leading by 3 points, you don't want to risk that.
That's true, yeah.
Or even
point.
30 points, you know. Hey, that's a
right.
good point.
Yeah.
72 points separate these two teams. We have Barbie Bont trying to scrap up the inside. Everybody, the entire pack shifted in. Barbie Bont goes to the out. She gets taken down by Sharon Misery, who is feeling some misery, courtesy of Lunch Lady.
Barbie Bont now recycled to the back. I'm a Firestarter now out front, but...
No, we got a lead jammer. That's I'm a Firestarter. Taking lead jammer for Omaha the first time this half. Barbie Bont with her speed helmet of power gets through, and so it forces the jam to be called by Ima. That's 2 jams in a row where there have been no points scored.
They broke through the pack at nearly the same time. I don't envy the pack refs or the jam refs sometimes trying to call who was first there.
And correction, that was 3 jams in a row that we've had a goose egg on that scoreboard. So lining up right now, you got 999. That's Animaniac, and she's facing off against 613, flirting with disaster.
Animaniac to the outside of turn 1. Now in turn 2.
Flirting with Disaster is out, Joe, and she picked up lead jammer status.
Oh, wow.
Big mix-up in the pack. Looks like that Tampa was going on crazy offense, man-on-man action, and they did exactly what they needed to do. Man-on-man action, taking down at least one skater, calling that jam instantly as soon as she hit the back of that pack, Flirt with Disaster, because she did pass up that downed skater. Picked up that 1 point, Joe. There you go.
1 point and 4 jams.
1 point and 4 jams ago.
These these teams have figured out how to shut each other down, it looks like.
That's what I love about this game, is that not only do you need to be fast, not only do you need to have skating ability, but you need to have adaptability. That is the key.
Very key.
Very key. Little A is jamming once again for Tampa. And I'm a Firestarter did a great job cutting up the outside, taking lead jammer. Trying to get a fire started on the track. Little A now out of the pack. No pack is called as both teams pretty much equal in numbers separate. One blocker in the box. That's Betty Kruger.
Wow.
Ima gets out.
She gets that whip in turn 2 and just breezes by on the outside of the back straightaway. Picks up those points and calls it off.
And that was a very conservative yet smart call, because you know what? Little A is way too fast to risk it. You got the 4 points. Call it a day. Let's start a new jam and get it set up again.
Especially with these smaller jam rotations, you got to keep those skaters fresh. Speaking of fresh, Dr. Hauschka celebrates the fresh faces of the WFTDA. Check out their website, drhauschka.com.
And speaking of fresh, we have a fresh jammer jamming for the first time this afternoon. We have Eblastigirl fighting at the top of the pack. There's a 2-wall, and around the outside, there goes Barbie Bont. Barbie Bont's not going to get lead jammer, though, because she did take a minor track cut, but she certainly is a jammer in the lead. Quite a sizable lead. She's almost immediately across the track. Here we go, lead jammer for Eblastigirl. Eblastigirl notices, but did she do it in time? I don't believe so. No, she did not. 1 point picked up by Barbie Bont as she passed that rear blocker, Joe.
Well, we've seen some low-scoring jams out of the last 10 or so. Animaniac now on the line for Omaha.
And that is Flirting with Disaster for Tampa.
Number 999 lining up for Omaha. Flirting with Disaster 613 lining up.
We got 2 blockers each team. Excuse me, we have 2 blockers for Tampa. I apologize, in the box. We have a lead jammer call. Goes to Animaniac and the Omaha Roller Girls.
Yeah, from my vantage point, it looked like Tampa's jammer was through the pack first, but
you
not
know,
cleanly.
The difference is the inches that we're missing that you could see from the inside of the track. The ref's perspective is completely different. And when people get up in arms on the calls,
that's right.
I got to say, first off, I could never be a referee. I couldn't keep track of all that at once. So kudos to all of you officiating, awesome, excellent people out there in Derby Nation. But you got to remember, it's from the ref's perspective. It's kind of like Vegas, where if it happened in Vegas, it never really happened. If the ref didn't see it, it never really happened.
Right.
But just because you saw something doesn't mean it really happened, you know? Little A-Beans trapped behind a red wall. Nice work by Omaha, helping their jammer, Eblastigirl, get out for lead jammer status. And I like these halftime adjustments that Omaha has made. They're working in tight formation. There's lots of communication. Nice big whip from Molly Massacre.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful waitress whip is what that's called, where you turn around and you assist and you serve up a big old platter of whip. She picked up 3 points on that last pass.
That's what's for breakfast this morning.
Yep, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a whip like that. Shoot. And, you know, kudos to Omaha's defense. They were able to contain Little A.
Yeah.
That has not been said very often this weekend, by the way, folks.
That's very true.
Oh, and we have another new jammer. It looks like the element of surprise is what's going to help out Omaha. Axel Rogue. Welcome to the jungle, Axel.
But it's Barbie Bont who's through the pack first before the second turn.
Yeah.
She's the lead jammer.
She's got fun and games, and her game clearly is roller derby. Lead jamming style. Axel trying to get past that Blackwall, who's speeding up. Nice work by Tampa, knowing that Barbie Bont has some magnificent speed in her skates. So they are skating as fast as they can. Looks like Betty Kruger took out Axel Rogue while Barbie Bont scoots up the inside. Let's see how many points she picked up, Joe.
5 points, 5 in the sky, another nickel in the bank for Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay once again taking that tight wall at the top of the pack. But what they're doing, they're not just doing a tight wall across the track. They're doing a staggered wall, which is really nice because you have that double wall protection.
It's like a cascade of skaters.
Oh, that just is a beautiful thought. Daisy Mayhem released from the box for Omaha right as Lunch Lady from Tampa goes in. Looks like the pack is strung out a little bit of Spaghetti City. Betty Kruger tries to take out Axel. Sasha Hotbitch slowing down Axel Rogue long enough for Barbie Bont to be immediately behind her. She's looking for that 1 extra point. Right now she's got 4. Barbie and Axel staring each other down while the pack separates in 2 strict formations. Big wall of red at the back of the pack, slim wall of black up top. Barbie Bont tries to get past Daisy Mayhem and call it. Let's see how many points she got. So she got 5 total on that last pass. Nice work, Barbie Bont.
The score sits at Tampa Bay 116, Omaha 40. 17 minutes remain in this bout.
We have Animaniac facing off against Rojo Grande on the line. Rojo Grande.
Real quickly, we'd like to thank Derby for All, experienced Derby skaters getting you the right gear to take you to the next level. That's Derby for All.
And the pack looks like a rugby scrim, excuse me. Trying to get out at the front of the pack, just within distance. Animaniac trying to get past 901, Muse of Bruise. She does get out, picks up lead jammer for Omaha. Yeah, and Rojo Grande going to the box for a back block. Now this is when Omaha's defense is going to have to shine and really switch to offense. A quick transition is going to be needed to assist their jammer, but now what Tampa Bay is doing is playing Speedy D, trying to stay up top. And there's a fan screaming, you got to slow it down. But in order to do that, Joe, they're going to have to trap at least one skater. They're going to have to get ahead of them, pull them back. There you go. Nice peeling off of Lunch Lady, but Lunch Lady has the agility to zoom right back. Animaniac has picked up Lunch Lady's point, Joe.
A Blastigirl trying to just pick off one of these Tampa Bay skaters to do precisely that, but Animaniac, meanwhile, makes it through the pack. She's got a grand slam, 5 in the sky.
Now, Omaha's doing a great job of the isolation play, holding back Muse of Bruise. Lunch Lady, though, sees that her teammate is stranded behind the wall of red, slows down to join her. They stop Animaniac at the back of the pack. Both Lunch Lady and Muse of Bruise goes down. Animaniac's got 2 at the top.
Wow.
Fights right through him. Gets through Joe, picking up 5 more points.
You know, sometimes it's easier to try and go around them, but sometimes you just got to go through the middle.
It's more fun to go up the middle. It's scarier, but it's a lot of fun when you get out. It's a pretty nice victory right there. So Rojo Grande was released from the box before the jam got called. Slowly but surely climbing up the scoreboard. 50 on the board for Omaha, 117 for Tampa Bay, 15-13 on the game clock, Joe.
And now we've got I'm a fire starter, number 53. You see her in the red for Omaha. And number 90 for Tampa, Little A in the black jersey if you're just joining us. I'm a fire starter trying to make her way through the center. Little A hung up in a wall of Omaha in the back. But it's, who got through first? Little A didn't make it through cleanly.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to get a minor forearm. Oh, but I'm a fire starter is going to be going to the penalty box. She got a minor track cut. Excuse me, a major track cut, rather.
So that's going to leave Little A in a power jam, although she's not lead jammer.
And they're going to have to let her go because they are far outside the zone of engagement. That's 5 more points for Little A and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, once again, as you said, pack control. Look what they are doing. They're 100% controlling the pack. But now Omaha has wisened up to that game. They formed a big wall. Little A skates back and says, girls, make me some holes. Do what you do so well, Tampa. Out comes Lunch Lady to bring in the wrecking crew and serve up some pain for lunch. Now it just looks like everybody's dancing.
Little stalemate there in the back straightaway.
Little A gets out, picks up 5 points, Joe.
And she's going to try and do that again, but it's going to be on her teammates to make a spot for her. And they do.
Lily the Kid heads to the penalty box. They'll lay it out again. 5 points for Tampa.
Any pursuing Omaha blockers here could potentially draw a out-of-play penalty, too, so we'll see if they try and use that to Tampa's advantage.
Well, and here comes I'm a fire starter. I don't think Tampa actually noticed her until she started to get right out. Tries to get out past Betty Kruger. Betty Kruger does let her go. Ima is out and now eligible to score, Joe.
Now with both jammers on their scoring run, but neither eligible for lead jammer.
Nice side swipe takeout by Betty Kruger. Taking down McKillia, the pivot for Omaha. And we have 50 on the board for Omaha, 132 for Tampa. 12 minutes and 41 seconds left in the gameplay.
Quick thanks to some of our tournament's partners that helped make this broadcast possible. Splendland Media,
Thank you.
Union Vacations,
Thank you.
Protect Dent Mouth Guards,
Thank you.
Skate Court,
Thank you.
and Jules Doyle Photography.
Oh, yes. Thank you for your new No Mercy coffee table book. It is beautiful.
They are among the awesome people who helped make this possible.
Thank you. We have a lead jammer. That's Animaniac.
Animaniac with that low speed, or low stance, high speed.
Low stance, high speed, stays on one skate up the inside. She goes, you want to see a low stance? Hi-ya! Ninja kicked the air just because she could and calls the jam. Picking up 4 points on that last pass.
Incredible agility.
Well, yes, when you speak of Animaniac, incredible is definitely one of the adjectives that comes to mind. Would you not agree?
Certainly. I could not agree more. And if I could, I would.
That's a good point. I agree with that statement.
100%.
Whoa, looks like I'm a fire starter almost found a trap door. That's what we call it on the track in Windy City when you just fall for no reason. Rojo Grande found an open door, but it got slammed right at the front of the pack. Nice work by a Blasted girl up there. I believe that's a Blasted girl. Yes, she is. She does have to let her go. Rojo Grande is out, but she did get a minor back block.
We've seen quite a few penalties in this bout. Some major, some minor. But certainly not the cleanest bout we've seen this weekend.
No, and it's at that point of the weekend where people, you're playing for pride now. There's no trophy on the line. There's just positioning and rankings and all that. But it's also, you've fought some of the titans of your region, some of the titans of our sport. This is tiring, my friend. It's going to get a little sloppy. I don't see anything that's egregious or intentional.
No, certainly not. It's not that level.
No, definitely not. There's little elbows here and there, maybe a back block, but it's just, people get worn out. Rojo Grande is not tired at all, and she picked up 5 more points for Tampa Bay Derby Darlings. I'm a fire starter gets taken to the outside by Lunch Lady.
Fire starter now up against a Tampa Bay 3-wall.
Yeah, what a triangle 3-wall formation we got. A nice takeout by Betty Kruger, forcing Ima to the outside.
She's recycled almost all the way to the back.
And we got a track cut major, Rojo Grande. This is Ima's time to shine. She stays on her skates, gets lead jammer. She's going to call it. Good call because there was only 27 seconds left in that jam anyway. Why not start a new one, get a fresh set of legs out there. Nice work. I'm a fire starter.
Yeah, start that new jam in a power jam as well.
Exactly.
We're likely to see a knee strategy here to get that jammer off the line as quickly as possible. We'd also like to thank Derby Skins, 5on5 Magazine, Sin City Skates, TIC, SkateGear.com, and Vanilla Skates.
Take it to the track. That's what the TIC. Talk is cheap. That's what it is. Talk is cheap. Take it to the track. That's our little slogan. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. And, Joe, thanks for whipping those out. Vanilla Skates, phenomenal. They have a booth here for those of you that are still working off those hangovers, listening to our soothing voices at home. And by home, I mean the hotel across the street. Yeah, TICskatesgear.com. Check them out. They're a new skate company out of Florida. Talk is cheap. Take it to the track. That's how they're feeling. So much love to Sin City Skates. Love, love, love you ladies and gents that are working on it. I say gents because we have a male skate tech. Nice, I believe, working over at the Sin City Skate booth today. But much love to Trish the Dish and Ivana Espankin, two of the powerhouses from day one of our sports inception. So thank you so much, ladies. And, of course, 5on5 Magazine, the official magazine of the WFTDA. Check them out online at 5on5, spell it out, F-I-V-E on FIVEmag.com. And as I mentioned, Jules Doyle Photography. A lot of people know him as Jules, but most of you know him as Axel Adams, one of the most gifted photographers in all of Flat Track Derby.
Yeah, if you've ever been to any roller derby community website, you've seen his work.
Yes.
Maybe you didn't even realize it, but I can guarantee you've seen his work before.
And he put out a phenomenal book, which I believe you can buy through the WFTDA website. Lots of vendors have it. I know derbysupply.net has it. It's called No Mercy, and there is no reason why you shouldn't buy it. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous book.
Animaniac to the inside of turn 2. She's the lead jammer in a power jam. She's looking to reduce the deficit that Omaha is staring down right now.
Yeah, and that's a 97-point deficit, so that's a far hill to climb. But it is early, but she's got a lot of energy going on.
And that's 5 in the sky, a grand slam.
So now that's 92 points separating these two teams. There you go. There's some early morning math for you.
I'm glad you can do math this early in the morning.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm going to jinx it.
Yeah. I'm never going to be able to add ever again. But it looks like Animaniac is trying to add some more points onto her pile already. We got a lot of blockers and jammers rotating in and out of the penalty box. Rojo Grande is now on the track. Animaniac has to get past ADD. But nice recycling. Tampa Bay is really good at working in these cluster formations where they're just constantly waterfalling, constantly recycling. Like, for example, Leia Flat, I'll take out Animaniac, and then there's Tasmaniac right there to protect the line and then recycle and move out where her teammate was. Rojo Grande up the inside. A big takedown. Animaniac gets forced to call it. 4 more points. So that's 63 on the board for Omaha and 141 for Tampa Bay with 7 minutes and 55 seconds left, Joe.
It's a very large hill for Omaha to climb at this point, but this second half, they've done an effective job, or at least in the first portion of this second half, they've done a great job of just trying to slow down Tampa's progress.
Yes, definitely, and I'm excited to see this new jammer out here, Ginny DeBeaton. Ginny DeBeaton, she's out there on the track, beautiful. We have a lead jammer, Little A. I'm sure that's shocking to some of you that Little A would be lead jammer.
She's had a great weekend, and look at that.
Molly Massacre just wanted to say, hey, lead jammer, how's it going? Took her all the way out and all the way down. Down goes I'm a Fire Starter trying to take out Little A. Little A jukes around. Out of the pack now is Ginny. She's not lead jammer, but she is stoked. Look at her go. Little A's got one blocker left. It is I'm a Fire Starter at the top of the pack. And now she's joined by Axel Rogue, forming a nice 2-wall. Little A says, you know what? I'm going to call it. And Ginny DeBeaton gets to the back of the pack and is just happy to do so. Look at her cheering herself on. She is pumped. Let's go, she says. I like that. You got a great name and a great attitude, Ginny. Nice work.
We're going to see Animaniac back on the line for Omaha.
And we got Barbie Bunt once again for Tampa. And I think a lot of the reason why Ginny was cheering, you know who she forced to call the jam scoreless? Lil A. That's a huge feat.
It is.
I mean, I'd be fist pumping all the way to the bench. Nice work.
And it looks like we're in a timeout here.
And it's a team timeout charged to the bench of Tampa Bay, as reflected by the jam timekeeper is saying it's a timeout, Tampa Bay.
2 timeouts remain for Tampa Bay, 1 for Omaha.
We got 141 on the board, Tampa Bay, 63 for Omaha.
The two teams here discussing strategy. If you were If you were going to give any advice to Omaha right now, what would you tell them? What's your strategy?
Teamwork, communication, calm.
Calm, very key, very key.
Don't get rattled. Don't get shiny object syndrome, which it happens a lot. No, seriously.
Kind of like how I get distracted with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walking around.
Yeah, there. Thank you for bringing that up. That's why a couple times earlier we both stopped mid-sentence and it sounded like we were falling asleep. No, we were hypnotized by this Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that just appeared.
Look, something shiny.
The funny thing is, though, he's nowhere to be seen now, so maybe we just both made it up. I don't know. What is in the water here in Kansas City? What's going on? All right, 5 seconds till the jam gets underway. Animaniac is lined up against Barbie Bont, as we said. And, this slow gameplay is what's going to kill it for them. They need to get this jam underway, so what I would imagine they would do, now Musa Bruise just got released from the box, as did Daisy Mayhem. So both teams, there's one blocker in the box, for Tampa. But Omaha is at full force. Elastigirl is saying, let's just go. Let's get this underway. And Daisy Mayhem is going back to see what Musa Bruise is doing. Got to get this jam underway if they want to get any more points on that scoreboard, Joe.
That's right. They need to, I think, just for the pride's sake, they need to close that gap a little more before the end of this one.
And lead jammer goes to Barbie Bont. Again, that's a big surprise right there. Barbie Bont very fast. Oh, Animaniac.
To the box. Going to leave Barbie Bont in a power jam, and that's not what Omaha needs right now.
We're going to try to find out that call for you folks, but not sure why she went to the box. We do know it was a major penalty, though.
5 in the sky for Barbie Bont. Another nickel in the bank for Tampa Bay.
Barbie Bont out again.
Make it a dime.
She goes to call it. And, I guess she didn't call it. Excuse me. She looked like she was pointing at her hips, but she was pointing, saying, get back, get back.
Making her way through the pack once more on the outside. Now to the inside of the back straightaway. Picks up another 5 points. That's 15. Another grand slam. Now in the back straightaway, easily makes her way through the outside in the back straightaway. Another 5 points, 20 points so far on this jam. She's going to keep rolling. Another 10 seconds or so remain in this jam.
Oh, and a track cut. Track cut for Barbie Bont right as Animaniac gets out of the box.
That's always a gamble when you try and jump the apex.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a gamble.
That's why I don't do it. Oh, wait. Also, I can't do it. But, good for the good thing for Omaha is that their jammer had already been released from the box right as Barbie Bont was going to the box. So Barbie potentially will serve a full minute as opposed to however long the last jammer served. So now there's one jammer only on the track, and her name is I'm a Firestarter. Look at this tight formation. How is anybody going to skate? No pack gets called, but now it's going to be, nice side block by Daisy Mayhem, forming a little wall for her, a little barricade to push the black to the inside, but Tampa's so wily, they just popped right out. Lunch Lady and Betty Kruger at the top of the pack now. Looks like Sasha's taking a trip to the sin bin.
But she picked up a track cut. She's not going to be lead jammer.
Yeah, and look at this stall blocking that's going on. People trying to slow down the pack as much as possible. But now Tampa gets out of the pack. Daisy Mayhem trying to suck one of the Tampa skaters back behind her. I'm a Firestarter fighting around the outside. Gets out, picks up 5 points, Joe.
And that's going to be a grand slam for I'm a Firestarter.
To the box goes Betty Kruger. Down goes Lunch Lady. And that's going to be a back block on red 5-3. I'm a Firestarter to the penalty box. And Barbie Bont standing now gets released from the penalty box. Elastigirl also back on the track. Red wall up front, trying to stay tight and get a little speed up on them, but Black knows what they have to do. They have to keep at least one skater behind them and isolate so as to draw out the, Barbie Bont found a trap door. Molly Massacre just looked at her and she fell.
It would be enough to intimidate me off the track.
I'll tell you what, I almost just fell right now. Out of the box now is Reese's Tear You to Pieces. Lead jammer finally is established, and it is Barbie Bont.
Barbie Bont about to roll up on a big wall of Omaha skaters.
Checking out her Atom wheels. Lots of just standing around, checking out each other's gear. Barbie Bond up the inside. It's going to take 5 more points, so says the jam ref in the center. Tampa wants to slow this down, control that pack.
So when you come up on such a tight wall of blockers like that, it seems to me like it would be really difficult not to accidentally draw a penalty for a back block or something as you try and muscle your way through there. What's the trick to not picking up a penalty?
Well, you really have to make sure that it's clear that you're not just blasting straight into somebody's back. A lot of times you'll see the skaters go to a sideways stance where they try to wedge their shoulder in. So you just all you need is a little bit of move. Just get that little bump of shoulder in. Jostle one person, and as soon as you throw them off their game, you can peel them away. It is hard, though, because these teams work so hard to stay together.
Right.
So, it doesn't always work. What I would say is it's my job as your blocker to say screw that and be a wrecking ball and just get them out of the way. Nice
Rojo
work.
Grande, 4th minor, going to the box.
And at the same time, we have a brand new jammer. Look at who it is. Danae Inya Coffin, 6 feet. She is not going to be lead jammer, but she is out of the pack. There was a no pass, no penalty call. So Omaha's trying to slow down the gameplay, but unfortunately they don't have any Tampa Bay skaters behind them. Tasmaniac, Sasha Hotbitch, and Betty Kruger, Leia Flat doing a great job of staying together. Leia Flat lays Danae flat.
Leia just living up to her name.
That's what you do.
Some derby names aren't given, they're earned.
Yeah. And Inya they're calling for a no pack situation right there. Wow, look at those whistles fly at Tasmaniac and Sasha Hotbitch. They are out of place. Tasmaniac going to the penalty box. Sasha way out of play. I'm shocked that there wasn't a call on that. But I am going to say high five in the sky right there. A grand slam for Danae Inya Coffin. As the period clock has ceased to run, there's 30 seconds left on the jam clock. Can she get through?
Oh.
It's going to be a back block major.
Oh.
She's going to the penalty box.
That's going to leave Tampa in a power jam to finish this one out. 15 seconds left on the jam clock and in this bout.
Rojo Grande is out. 5 points. I want to say thank you so much to Blaze Streaming Media. Speed Bump enjoying our commentary thoroughly. He saw how frustrated I was. I hit the table when Danae went to the penalty box. Thank you so much to Blaze Streaming Media for the excellent coverage. Have you checked out the HQ coverage? HQ stands for hella quality.
Yeah. You can see all this glorious action in a much better picture quality. And in case you've missed anything this weekend, it's not too late because you can upgrade and it unlocks the archive of this entire weekend when you do that.
Exactly. And you can look for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
He's at trackside. Hopefully you'll get to see him. So there he is in the left-hand side of your screen.
There you go. Okay, but meanwhile, we're going to give you the unofficial final, although I do believe we have been given the thumbs up. 73 on the board for Omaha, 176 from Tampa Bay. My name is Val Capone. I'm joined, of course, by the awesome Mellow Joe.
Hi there, Electra Blue here. Welcome, Derby World. I am here with Barbie Bont. We're here live in Kansas City for the 2011 WFTDA South Central Region Playoffs. Barbie, congratulations on a big win against Omaha. Now, you came in looking really strong on Friday against Nashville, and you ran into a little penalty trouble. Tell the fans at home what everybody's been dying to hear. What happened there?
That I'm an idiot. No, I'm still kind of new to this game, and I wasn't skating with my head, and just adrenaline got a hold of me, and I was just doing stupid things and not paying attention, and I feel like I cost the team the game, but yeah.
Well, you can't blame yourself. I mean, penalty trouble. There's been a lot of penalty trouble. People adjusting to the refs' calls, people adjusting to the floor. So, it happens. We've seen a lot of jammers in the box throughout all of these tournaments. So, unfortunately, yours ended up in an ejection. Now, you didn't skate yesterday. Can you tell us why you weren't there yesterday?
Well, sometime during the first game, I got slammed in the thigh, and after the game was over is when it really started hurting. So, yesterday I could not even walk. And today I had to suck it up and try to skate. And once I got skating, it loosened up and I felt better.
Well, you look great out there today. Whatever you did yesterday worked. Now we've got another game coming up. We got the rematch from Green Country and Gold Coast, both brand new to this region, to these playoffs, I should say. And your team played Green Country yesterday. What are your predictions for this next game?
I honestly don't know. I like both teams. I have friends on both of them, so I think it's going to be a really close, tight, good game.
Well, it was on Friday, so I'm excited to see what they'll do again today. So, well, thanks so much. Congratulations again.